Rodriguez winning the AL Rookie of the Year. Some people had it as a lock, some people had assumed that was going to be the case for a while now, but it is now official. Rookie of the Year, Julio Rodriguez. Alright, enough of the hat. Let's get into it, actually. Before we get into it, this is something that might affect all of football going forward. We have the president of the NFL Players Association calling for the immediate replacement and the ban of all slit film turf, and calling for there to be a clearing of the excess people and equipment from the sidelines. So there's been a lot of public outcry from players and coaches, especially the last couple weeks because of injuries, to mandate that all NFL games have to be played on grass instead of turf, because the injury rates are higher on turf compared to natural grass. And now the president of the NFLPA is basically calling for that to become the standard, and that turf should be banned, made illegal outright by the NFL bylaws. The bit I found interesting was the clearing of personnel and equipment, because you see that nowadays there's so many extra people hanging out on the sides of the field. So many, like an amount that is unnecessary. So it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, is done about that. Seems like there's a lot of momentum behind the idea of making those changes at the moment, and if it improves player safety, I'm all for it. Alright, let's get into the games. First up, I predicted that the Titans would beat the Broncos. I wasn't sure if Tannehill would play or not. He did end up playing in this game, and I start the week off, a week in which I know I'm not going to do very good, with a win. 17-10 in favor of the Tennessee Titans. And this game was honestly kind of a boring, low-scoring game. I didn't watch too much of it because it really was not keeping my attention. The over-under was 40.5 points, and they hit 27 points. Nobody scored until the second quarter. Low-scoring second half. Even Derrick Henry, who was, your leading rusher in the game, he only got 53 yards. Just a boring game across the board, this Broncos-Titans game. Russell Wilson, 21 completions on 42 attempts. Not great, 50% completion there. 286 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Another low QB rating week for Russ. Ryan Tannehill, 19 completions on 36 attempts, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and one of Russ's plays. Let me see if I can see it. I'm not sure if it was his interception or if it was, let me see. But he had this one where he had a wide open receiver right down the center. And I think that was either when he threw his interception or it was he had to throw it out of bounds or something. But I don't know. I can't find it now. But Yeah, there's a couple times, it's happened a couple times this season now, but in this game in particular, Russell had a wide open receiver, and I think he threw into double coverage or something for the interception on that play, but he keeps missing the wide open receivers that are down the middle. Alright, Chiefs against the Jaguars at Arrowhead. I said the Chiefs would get the win here, and they did, but Trevor Lawrence actually had a pretty good game this game. 27-17 is your final score. Trevor Lawrence, 29 completions on 40 attempts, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Which honestly, against that Kansas City defense, that's a really good stat line. Patrick Mahomes, 26 completions on 35 attempts, 331 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. And those 4 touchdowns pretty much all came, 3 of the 4 of them came in the first half, and then he got a third quarter one to Kelsey, but this thing was basically over before halftime. It was 20, what was it? It was 20-7 going into halftime, and then they threw another 7 on top of it at the in the second half. So it was a blowout early for the Chiefs. The Jaguars fought a little bit to get back into it, but just fell a little bit short. But I was actually kind of impressed with Trevor Lawrence this week. One of his better games, even though it came in a loss. Browns against the Dolphins. I predicted that the Browns would win here, but the Dolphins get the win. I thought the Browns, coming off of a bye, would do a little bit better than this, and honestly, Chubb had a really quiet game. Chubb, who's been a monster for the Browns, he only had 63 yards on 11 carries this game. By comparison, Wilson for the Dolphins had 119 yards on 17 carries. Just a really weird game, but yeah, 39-17 in favor of the Dolphins. Jacoby Brissett, 22 completions on 35 attempts, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Tua Tagovailoa, 25 completions on 32 attempts, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Tua continues to have a monster season, and I feel like people aren't giving him enough credit for how good of a season he's having because he's on the Dolphins. But he's having like one of the best passing seasons of any QB ever. And as a fellow left-handed person, I love that a left-handed QB is playing as well as Tua has been. But I think, does Deshaun Watson come back next week? Yeah, I think Deshaun Watson comes back next week. So, oh no, he's not playing for 3 more weeks, but he's getting first team reps, that's what that is. Okay. So, he's cleared to practice, but he is not starting next week. Okay, I thought he was starting next week. So that was going to impact my predictions a little bit, but now that it's not happening, I guess Jacoby Brissett will be there until week 13, 14. Alright. I said the Raiders would beat the Colts. They came close, but Saturday gets his first win as Colts head coach, 25-20 over the Las Las Vegas Raiders. And I think my favorite part of all this was that Matt Ryan got a rushing touchdown. Matt Ryan, 21 completions on 28 attempts, 222 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, 0 interceptions, 109.5 QB rating. That's, I think, his best QB rating of the season, which is why I point that out. Derek Carr, 24 completions on 38 attempts, 248 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And the Raiders just continue to have issues. And they are 2-7. Like, with the offseason the Raiders have, I don't think anybody expected them to be 2-7 coming out of week 10. Like, maybe you didn't think they were gonna be, like, you know, playoff contenders, but being this bad is a bit of a shock, to be honest. I mean, Devontae Adams, he had 9 receptions for 128 yards, but just not enough to get it done. Just a real disappointment, especially in a game that the Raiders are favored. You know, I'm not a Raiders fan by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still a bit rough. Alright, the Falcons at the Panthers. I said the Falcons would win, but PJ Walker, back in the starting spot, gets the W for the Panthers, 25-15. The Falcons, I think, now have back-to-back losses in the last 2 weeks, which is kind of unfortunate for them because it looked like they were trying to push ahead and try and take that first spot in the NFC South and maybe try and, you know, cement their place there. They want to be 6-4 right now, but instead they're 4-6. Final score 25-15 in favor of the Panthers. Marcus Mariota, 19 completions on 30 attempts, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. PJ Walker, 10 completions on 16 attempts, 108 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Only 16 attempts though for PJ Walker. Was there another QB playing here? Let's see. Carolina's defense, Panthers. Neck injury, but that's not. Carolina. So they really just had Walker. They just didn't have him pass very much, I'm assuming. But they yeah, they did not have any other QBs playing. It was just a single QB. Interesting. Alright, well, that's that, I guess. I said the Lions would beat the Bears, and they do by a singular point. And this is another game where Justin Fields went off with his feet. Final score 31-30 in favor of the Lions, and this game was actually way more exciting than it had any right to be. Very, very back and forth. It looked like the Bears had this at the end of the third. At the end of the third, it was 24-10. But that fourth quarter, for the Lions, just to put the Bears away, especially with the pick six. Okay, let's get into it. Jared Goff, 19 completions on 26 attempts, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Justin Fields, 12 completions on 20 attempts, gets it right back with a 67-yard rushing touchdown. First, technically, Fields' third touchdown of the game. Actually, his fourth. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. So Fields had an amazing game against the Lions. You know, it's not his fault they lost, really, but man, just even with as good of a game he has, not being able to get it done, that pick 6 is killer. And yeah, trying to see. I saw the first half of this game, but I want to see maybe, because I kind of tuned out once the third, because it looked like it was going to be over at the third, so I kind of moved on to looking at other games. But I'm not seeing anything in the recap. Yeah, I click around the early games, and then, like I said, with the third quarter of this game, it looked like it was pretty much over, so I went to watch something else. And then the fourth quarter happened, and unfortunately, I didn't really get to see what happened there. But the Lions do win. I know that was sort of an upset pick for me. Some people didn't like that I made that pick, but they should have criticized some of these other picks instead. That one actually ends up being decent. Alright, Seahawks at Buccaneers. I was excited for this game as a Bayern Munich fan. First NFL game in Germany, my team's playing in it. I did not realize that it was happening at 6 in the morning, my time. And when I woke up, the game was already over. I didn't realize how early this game was going to be. That's my bad. I probably should have double checked the time zones, but I thought waking up at like 10, 11, I'd have plenty of time to watch the game. Unfortunately, that was not the case, so I only was able to watch it with the highlights. Unfortunately, they were kind of low lights for me because the Seahawks do not get the win here, and with the Falcons losing 2 in a row and the Buccaneers winning now, getting to 500, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in sole possession of first place in the NFC South. The Seahawks go into a bye still first in the NFC West. But even even though my team lost, this was still a good game, an exciting game. Tom Brady was a receiver on a play and was targeted with a pass that we intercepted, so that was a pretty exciting moment. You know, not many times Tom Brady has been the receiver, and then to intercept him when he's attempting to be the receiver makes it all the more exciting. Final score 21-16 in favor of the Buccaneers, and Julio Jones gets the first touchdown recorded in the country of Germany for an NFL team, so that's pretty exciting. I know there's a few American football teams that actually play in Germany, but that's the first for the NFL. Geno Smith, 23 completions on 33 attempts, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Tom Brady, 22 completions on 29 attempts, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Seahawks tried to make it a game there at the end, but just fell a little bit short. Next up, I said the Rams would beat the Cardinals, and wouldn't you know it? No, they wouldn't. Cardinals get the win 27-17 in a game where both teams had their backup QBs in both Matthew Stafford and Kyler Murray were hurt this game. So the Cardinals had Colt McCoy and the Rams had John Wolford. already not a recipe for success for either team, but even with the backups playing, this was actually a pretty high-scoring game, and both backup QBs actually looked pretty decent. Colt McCoy, 26 completions on 37 attempts, 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. John Wolford, 24 completions on 36 attempts, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So, you have 2 backup quarterbacks without much starting experience. In between the 2 of them, you only have 1 interception. Sorry for the pause there. Anyway, like I said, interesting that you have a game with 2 backup QBs, only 1 interception between the 2 of them, and it actually turns into a pretty high yardage game. 298 yards for Arizona, 256 yards for LA. You don't see that often with backups. Next up, I said the Cowboys would beat the Packers. I thought that last week there was a lot of stuff, a lot of negativity around the team, around Aaron Rodgers. There was literally a story that got published by SB Nation like a day before this game came out, and the story is titled, "Aaron Rodgers Sucks, the Packers Suck, the front office is scared, and Green Bay is beyond repair." What happens after that article comes out? The Packers beat the Cowboys. So much for the Packers being beyond repair. 31-28 is your final score in overtime. Dak Prescott, 27 completions on 46 attempts, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, but Dak had 2 interceptions. In a game that you lose by 3 points, you cannot be having those 2 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers, low volume game from Aaron Rodgers, 14 completions on only 20 attempts. They were letting their running backs get him the yardage, and they did. 224 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers throws almost a perfect game with a QB rating of 146.7. Yeah, Green Bay had 207 rushing yards to 208 passing yards, only 1 yard away, whereas Dallas had over 100 more passing yards compared to their rushing yards. So you can see that Green Bay was really trusting and relying on the run game to get them the W there, and it worked. Texans went into MetLife. I said the Giants would win, and it feels good to be back in the W column, 24-16 in favor of the Giants. Davis Mills versus Daniel Jones. In this one, Davis Mills goes 22 for 37, 319 yards. I think Davis Mills keeps putting up like these 300-yard games and losses. I feel like I've seen it multiple times this season. Davis Mills will have 250, 300 yards, but the Texans lose by like 10 points despite all the yardage. Like, I don't know if maybe it's just a red zone problem for them, but 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Daniel Jones taking a book out of Aaron Rodgers' playbook here. Only 17 attempts, completes 13 of those. 197 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Another high QB rating game, but overall not a very high scoring game. This one was at an over-under of 41.5. 41.5. And you have, what, an 8-point win. Giants were favored by 5. Yeah. But good for me to be back in the W column there. Saints in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. This was an upset pick of mine. I picked the Steelers to win. The Steelers are one of the worst teams in the league right now, but I had a feeling I think that maybe they can get the Saints here, and I feel good to get that one correct. It kind of makes up for the fact that my overall record this week isn't great, because that one upset pick makes me pretty happy. Final score, 20-10 in favor of the Steelers. Andy Dalton does not look good in this game. 17 for 27, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Kenny Pickett, 18 completions on 30 attempts, 199 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but he does have a QB sneak rushing touchdown at the end of the 4th to kind of put the nail in the coffin there for the Saints and secure the Steelers' victory. But now let's get to the game everybody's going to want to talk about, what's already being called the game of the year. In this game, Justin Jefferson had perhaps the catch of the year. This is one of the best football games I've ever seen. One of the best football games I've seen in a long time. And in a season where, as Tom Brady stated earlier in the season, there's a lot of bad football being played this season. As a neutral fan who didn't really care who won this game, this felt like a breath of fresh air. This game was exactly what I've been looking for. Big plays, exciting moments. The referees weren't too bad. There was a couple things I saw complaints about, but just 2 great offenses, good defenses, good, exciting, back and forth football. And if you see the win probability on this game, it's all over the place. But in the end, I got my prediction right. In overtime, the Vikings win 33-30. I was honestly shocked that Josh Allen played in this game. I made my prediction for this game based on the fact that I thought Josh Allen wasn't going to play because of his elbow injury. The way that people were talking, people were saying that he would need to get like Tommy John surgery. He might be out this season and next season. Like, people were making it seem like a very, very severe surgery. And he doesn't even miss a single week. Like, I don't think he got surgery. The injury clearly isn't that bad. There was a couple moments where I maybe thought that if he wasn't a little bit hurt, he wouldn't have thrown the pick, or he wouldn't have overthrown the play or something. Like, you could definitely tell Josh Allen was a little bit off. But overall, this was a great game. And I'm glad that I thought Josh Allen was going to be out, because I would have picked the Bills to win if I knew he was playing, and I would have gotten it wrong. Kirk Cousins, 30 completions on 50 attempts, 357 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And Josh Allen, 29 completions, 43 attempts, 330 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Both QBs had some bad moments in this game. There was this one interception by Kirk Cousins. Now, I think it was towards the end of the second, or it was in the first. Not his credit, he immediately went down in the next drive, and they got a score, but Kirk Cousins threw a real bad interception this game. Like, there was nobody near the guy. Like, he just threw it right to the defender. There wasn't really a receiver there. And then Josh Allen had a bad interception, and then Josh Allen got that fumble, and the end of the game was just insane. So the game looked over at the end of the third. Thankfully, I saw some tweets. About the fourth quarter, so I switched back to the game because kind of like the Lions game, I had tuned out already. I was like, alright, this one's over. But then obviously I saw the tweet, so I went back and started watching again in the fourth, and then the Vikings start making a comeback. They go down. They go for it on fourth, and Kirk Cousins goes for a QB sneak. Falls just short on the fourth down QB sneak. And at that point, the Buffalo's already up. They just need to hold on to the ball for like 40 seconds and they win. The problem is they're back in their own end zone, so there's the fear of the safety there. But even if they took the safety, I think they'd still win. Yeah, and then they fumble. Buffalo fumbles like 40 seconds left. They have the ball, they just really need to run out the clock, get 1 or 2 first downs, and they have the win. They fumble the ball in their own end zone. Vikings recover it, get the touchdown off a Josh Allen fumble. Not a good look for Josh Allen, especially at this point. Just kind of a must-win game. Losing this game dropped them down to third. And now Buffalo, I don't know how much danger they're really in missing the playoffs, but it's definitely kind of a question now. Buffalo's down 3. They go down with like 30 seconds left to get the field goal to tie it. And a field goal in overtime. Wins it for the Vikings 33-30. Absolutely insane game. At one point, Justin Jefferson gets this one-handed catch with like another defender's hands on the ball, comes down with it, doesn't let it touch the ground. Like the catch of his career so far, definitely catch of the season so far. This game had everything as a neutral fan that you want to see in an NFL football game. Alright, I said the Niners would beat the Chargers. They're in Levi's Stadium, and the Niners do get the win. Justin Herbert was absolutely swallowed up by that Niners defense. It's actually kind of crazy how bad Justin Herbert looked in this game. 21 completions on 35 attempts, 196 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Garoppolo, 19 completions on 28 attempts, 240 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I didn't see much of this game, but what I did see was a lot of Justin Herbert getting his line blown up, just getting pressured by the defense pretty bad. Kind of similar to how Russ looked against the Titans. Just getting a lot of pressures, not looking great. But the Niners now second in the NFC West. They're definitely, especially with the Seahawks loss against the Buccaneers, they're going to be trying to push to get that number 1 spot in the NFC West. And finally, the massive upset. One that I almost picked. I actually was semi-tempted to pick the Commanders in this game. But I said I was going to keep picking the Eagles until they lost, but now they have finally lost their undefeated streak, so I can start actually picking against them, which I probably... Who do they have up next? Eagles against Colts. Well, maybe I won't pick against them in that game, but part of me did want to pick the Commanders in this game. I should have. You guys would have been super angry at me, but I would have been correct. Instead, I end the game on an L, or end the week on the L, rather. 32-21 in favor of the Commanders. Taylor Heineke, 17 completions on 29 attempts, 211 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jalen Hurts, 17 completions on 26 attempts, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 interception. And there's a fumble at the end of the fourth by Watkins, which was then returned for a touchdown for the Commanders. That stings. Eagles to go undefeated this season. It would have been a cool storyline if they could have, but certainly nobody's expecting them to lose their undefeated streak against the Commanders, and probably not against the Colts either. I would have assumed that 10-0 would probably be a pretty safe assumption to make, but now they might be 9-1 or 8-2 after next week, and now maybe people have a bit of a blueprint to beating this Eagles team. But anyways, that is how we end it for this week. And out of 14 games, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go 7 for 7. Or 7 for 14, rather. For 50%. Not great, but that shouldn't mess my standings up too bad. 91.5 out of 143. Now I have to do the math. I'm not sure what is going on, like in the background. I swear my roommates make no noise until I start recording a video. Then they decide it's time for like home renovation projects or something. Wow, we actually went up. Well, I'm gonna double check the math on that. Divided by 143. I don't know how I went up going 500, but I'm at 6398. So, we round that up. We're sitting at 64% for the season so far, so if I have a good week, I can hit 70% by the end of the season, I think, and I'd be pretty happy with that. But anyways, guys, that is week 10 of the NFL season. Keep an eye out Wednesday. I'll have my predictions for week 11. Not feeling super happy about this week. A few of those I should have picked differently. I definitely should have picked the Dolphins. The Seahawks pick, I admitted, was a homer pick, but I should have gone 9. I should have gone 9 for 14 this week, I think. But oh well. We got some teams on bye next week. Like I said, predictions on Wednesday. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this almost every single day. Until next time, guys. Bye bye.